Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.80. The crypto space is an absolute bloodbath today. And if you look at the 1 month, a lot of people are saying we're going to touch $2.75 before we start to move back up. Other people are expecting us to go even lower. I see some people calling for a $2.20 XRP again. And look at Bitcoin. Back under 109K. Everybody is panicking right now, but I still expect that one big move up for Bitcoin. My entire feed is like September is the worst month for crypto. Cycle is over. ETH charts to 3K. People calling the top of the bull run. Personally, I'm buying. You know, that's what you do when the market's red. You either buy the dip or you do nothing. Right now, XRP is on sale. That's the way I look at it. And a lot of people are citing paper Bitcoin for the reason why the market's dumping. Paper Bitcoin equals synthetic claims, futures, IOUs, custodial products, not backed by real Bitcoin. Estimate 2 to 3x the real supply exists on paper. 50 to 70% of Bitcoin traded is synthetic. And remember when they always said, well, there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, but they're creating more Bitcoin out of thin air as well. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen with the XRP ETFs. And then you see this, Bitcoin at 108K, down 13% from its all-time high. But history shows drops of 30% plus are normal during bull runs. Over 90% of the models signal the cycle isn't over. New all-time highs likely in the next 4 months, possibly even before September ends. I think Bitcoin is most likely going to top out sometime in October. I see a lot of these chart guys saying the same thing. But we do know there's going to be one more big move up before Bitcoin comes crashing down. Everybody's so quick to give up. CZ said the biggest mistake in crypto is selling the dip. You never sell the dip. The first rule of crypto should be you never sell when the price dips. That's how you lose money. If you don't sell, you don't lose anything. The market turns around and you're back in profit again. You know, today was one of those days when everybody's so negative as well. The infighting is always at all-time highs when the price dips. When the market's green, everybody's super excited, and every single thing that you say is so freaking bullish. And, you know, here we are back again. But, you know, you got to get through days like today to get to the exciting times. People still have not figured that out. And I think it's because a lot of people enter this space thinking it's up only. They think that crypto never goes down in price. They think it never goes sideways. It just continues upward until they're millionaires. It doesn't work that way. And people quickly find that out when they enter this space. Here's how much one XRP could be worth if Bitcoin's market cap reaches $21 trillion. I hate these articles. First of all, XRP is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is it's a test coin. The real Bitcoin is XRP. XRP is solving all of Bitcoin's problems. I don't even think Bitcoin will ever see a $21 trillion valuation. It's already on the road to irrelevance. It's going to become more and more irrelevant as time goes on, especially once the new financial system rolls out. That's going to be it. All of a sudden, utility and use case is going to be all the talk, even on the mainstream media news. Because the narrative right now is this: big bag holders are controlling the narrative. And it's Bitcoin is up forever. Make sure you put all your money into Bitcoin. Why? They need exit liquidity. People still have not figured that out yet. They are going to use retail as exit liquidity. XRP is going to run on actual use case, being utilized, being locked away, demand rising, scarcity happening. That's what's going to push the price of XRP. You cannot base where XRP is going off of where Bitcoin's going. I just don't. I think that's the dumbest thing that people do. Validator publishes U.S. GDP data on XRP ledger. Explains why the government did not pick XRP. You know, this is another battle that people are arguing about right now. All they're doing is putting fake data onto the blockchain. That's it. They're going to create numbers. They're going to record it on the blockchain and nothing more. It's just data. What does XRP do? It moves value from one place to another. I don't even care if the government chose XRP or not for this, because it doesn't add value to XRP in any way. And like I said, they're going to create those numbers out of thin air. That's what the U.S. government does best. And Raoul says XRP is about to full port to higher levels. I agree. When this breaks out, anybody that's sold right now is going to absolutely regret it. So he describes the crypto market as a waiting room, with different assets preparing to launch at different times. He said Ethereum has already moved out of the waiting room and entered its growth or full port phase. For context, ETH is up nearly 70% since July, having recently claimed a new all-time high before retracing slightly. Meanwhile, Paul said Solana is next to leave the waiting room, while Sui will follow after Solana. XRP will also leave the waiting room. It's just a matter of time. But he doesn't go on to tell you how high the price of XRP is going to go. And in the past, Raoul Paul has been very critical about XRP. But you know what it is? It's this. They like to include XRP in the conversation because XRP gains momentum all over X. You could mention Solana, you could mention Bitcoin, but the second you mention XRP, all of a sudden everybody has to read that article to see what they said about XRP. But I do agree with them. It's like I always said we're in the calm before the storm. It's like you watch XRP move up and down. It goes sideways, it dips down, comes back up. We're just waiting for the real breakout to begin. And right now, we're still in the waiting room. Amplify XRP option income ETF filed. Another ETF for XRP. You know, everybody wants to get in on this because they realize there's money to be made on this. XRP has the best return on investment right now, in my opinion, even from the price point it's at currently. Because think about it like this. If XRP is going into double digits, and people are expecting high double digits, like $20 to $30, may all the way up to like $50 plus. Think about buying it at $3. You know, you're going to 10x your money on XRP. If you put the same money into Bitcoin, you're lucky if you even get a 2x. Think about that. And that's why as retail comes back into this space, because a lot of people think retail hasn't even fully returned yet. So when they do come back, they're not going to be parking their money into Bitcoin. You can't even buy one whole Bitcoin unless you want to shell out $100,000. Some people will buy Ethereum. But again, you're not going to be able to accumulate a lot of Ethereum because the price is much higher. So what do you look at next? The number 3 cryptocurrency. That's why when retail comes back and that FOMO begins, most of the money is going to bypass Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's going to end up in XRP. And everybody wants to sell, and this is about to happen. Flare co-founder Hugo Filion wants to see 5% of the XRP supply on the Flare network earning yield by 2026. Take a listen.
Hugo, with the DeFi ecosystem within XRP now starting to expand, how much do you think is going to be unlocked just this year, in the last few months of this year?
I mean, I'd like to see Flare at 5 billion XRP by mid-2026. Don't know about the last period of this year. Market's a bit volatile, but I'd like to see Flare at 5 billion XRP.
Think about that. 5 billion XRP going to Flare. And then there's this. Tokyo gaming giant Gummy has announced plans to purchase 2.5 billion yen, $17 million worth of XRP. I'm telling you, company after company is going to be locking away XRP. And we're going to see that continue to happen over time as XRP holders. And as they're locking that XRP away for long periods of time, demand is still going to continue to rise. Scarcity is going to happen for this cryptocurrency. I'm telling you, the FOMO, when XRP breaks out, the FOMO is going to be absolutely chaotic. People are going to be like, I need to buy in now before it goes any higher. You're going to have exchanges down. Coinbase will most likely be down as we hit new all-time high after new all-time high. We've seen that happen with Bitcoin and Coinbase. Same will happen with XRP. But it is going to be a crazy time ahead. But you got to get through the bloody days in crypto. And that's all today is. You know, whenever the market turns red, like I said, everybody's so discouraged. But we are going to see a 180 on XRP. How low will it go? Nobody really knows yet. I would like to see it pull back a little bit lower before we break out. It'll give retail investors a chance to buy up some more XRP, to pack more XRP into their bag. But you make it through days like today, and you will get to the exciting times ahead. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.